Assalamualaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 5 of the Digital Investment Week of the Malaysia Tech Month 2021. We're coming to you live virtually. My name is Hasro and I'll be your host for the day. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all here on this fine morning, this Friday, 6th of August 2021. I would like to thank all in attendance for taking your time off to join us today on this virtual platform, enabling us to connect even in these unpredictable times. For those who are just tuning in this week, let me bring you up to speed. The Malaysia Tech Month 2021, or MTM 2021, is launched by Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, throughout the month of August as a virtual month-long curation of electrifying digital and technology keynotes, workshops, discussion panels, and business matching sessions. It will feature distinguished groups of local and international industry speakers and investors to share their expert thoughts and experiences in 4IR-driven digital economy. MTM 2021 will see exciting programs that will allow the spotlight to be shown on digital ecosystem leaders and creators, leading-edge companies, as well as talents, enabling all stakeholders to discover new perspectives on domestic and global trends in artificial intelligence, drone technology, data analytics, fintech, Islamic fintech, e-commerce, agtech, creative games, and animation and digital workforce. Before we move on, allow me to convey some housekeeping guidelines. Number 1, any questions to our speaker, you may submit them via the Q&A comment box below there. Number 2, meeting and chat rooms are available for attendees for your networking convenience. Number 3, please complete the survey for each of the sessions as we strive to continuously serve you better. Should you require any further assistance, please chat with our admin on our virtual platform. Thank you. Without further ado, let me introduce the first panel session to start up our day, entitled WCIT 2022, Connecting Malaysia to the World. Moderating this session is Kian, the Chief Executive Officer of PIKOM, National Tech Association of Malaysia. Over to you, Mr. Ong.
Thank you very much and good morning. Thank you very much, Encik Hasrul. We are certainly glad to be here and we are certainly glad to be the first to start the session this morning. Indeed, this is the Investment Week, Malaysia, the heart of digital ASEAN. I think that's a theme that we are going to focus our discussion upon. In fact, I have a very distinguished panel with us who have joined us this morning to talk about WCIT. And what is WCIT? The World Congress on IT, Connecting Malaysia to the World. Just to highlight another note, if you'd like to pose any questions, the chat box, we'll be happy to try and answer those questions. So allow me to bring the panelists on board. By no particular order, let me start off with Hoong. Mr. Hoong plays an important role. He is the organizing chair of the World Congress on IT in 2022. He also plays many roles. He has many hats. He was formerly the group CEO of Hitachi Sunway. Today, he's an entrepreneur. He started a company called Cognitive Digital. He's also an adjunct professor at the Sunway University Business School. But in addition to that, he plays multiple roles in PIKOM. He's a former PIKOM chairman. He's the current chairman of OM. So we welcome on board Mr. Cheah Hoong for this session. And let me go to the second person on our panel. Dato Lian needs no introduction. She is the Chief Executive Officer of investPenang. And you know investPenang, they're attracting investment into the state of Penang. She plays many other roles as well in the state of Penang. She's in the KPI task force of the Penang Development Corporation. She's also the chairperson of the Penang Industry 4.0 Seed Fund Evaluation Committee. She's very passionate about many things, but in particular focusing on job diversity, women empowerment, as well as youth education. So we welcome on board Dato Lu. Our third speaker, let me invite Dr. Seah. Sean is a serial entrepreneur. I've known him for many years. He co-founded A4 Private Limited that was listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. He's also known as the co-founder of Galaxy's PLC, which was listed in London. Currently, he is the executive chairman of Angkasa X. You heard him yesterday, and also serves CTech Venture Corporation and Asia Fin Holdings. But I know him best as the deputy chairman of PIKOM, and he serves also as the deputy chairman of WCIT. In his concurrent role, he is the advisor. He'll play the advisory role for WCIT 2022. Finally, let me go to Dr. James Poisant before I introduce Raymond. Dr. James Poisant is the Secretary General of WITSA since 2006. James, or Dr. Jim, has been involved in WITSA from the for the last 20 years. I remember Jim as the chief organizer, the chief executive, when WCIT was held in Virginia in 1998. So his experience goes way back, and he'll be able to tell you what are some of the things that you can expect from the WCIT. Prior to WCIT and WITSA, he was involved with EDS. Many of you may remember the EDS company, as well as the Walt Disney Corporation. So he will be one of the key guys to tell you about how the marketing mix of this entire event will be important for a global event such as ours. And lastly, of course, Mr. Raymond Siva. Mr. Raymond Siva is the guy who brings together all the entire Malaysia Tech Month, and we are glad that he has included a session for us to talk about the WCIT. So Raymond is the Senior Vice President of Investment as well as Marketing. Concurrently, he's the CMO. He sits on various committees, including in PIKOM under the OM committee. So we are glad to have on board a very eminent group of people who would be able to have this discourse how WCIT is going to make an impact to Malaysia, as well as making Malaysia and Penang the heart of digital ASEAN. But to kickstart this session, maybe just to dwell a little bit longer and also to delve deeper into this topic, let's hear a little bit from each of the panelists about yourself, your organization, and how you became involved in WCIT. I will start with what's appearing on my screen. So let me start with Mr. Cheah. You have to unmute while I mute my mic.
Good morning, can you? And good morning to all the MDEC MTM month of audience. First and foremost, thank you, Raymond, or MDEC, for giving us PIKOM this great opportunity for us to start early promotion about this or re-promotion about this WCIT. So just a big introduction myself, as I think Can you have been talking how great about me, but I'm just a person that will contribute my love and sunshine attitude towards the industry. Yeah, for some of the overseas colleague or audience, PIKOM is a National Tech Association of Malaysia. So it is an NGO. It is an NGO association. We are serving this association as love and sunshine. We are passionate in what we are doing. We are enthusiastic in what we are doing. That's why we are here. As a former chairman of PIKOM, and I'm very glad that it's almost more than 35 years of the history of ever give birth of this association. And we are continue to champion together with the government agency, the industry player for this digital agenda. That's why the team for this WCIT connecting Malaysia to the world via the digital world. Yeah, I think it's a very nicely coined. Okay, so I pass back to Can you or next.
Thank you, Mr. Cheah. And next up, we would like to invite Dr. James Poisant to say a few words of intro.
Thank you, Hoong, and let me congratulate Penang and the country of Malaysia for winning the right to host the 26th World Congress on IT. Congratulations. This is, of course, your second go around, so we're thrilled to have you back doing it again, because the one that you did previously was spectacular. So we know you're going to do a great job here. I think for the audience, it might be important for me to spend just a moment on WITSA and who we are, what we do, and why is this Congress so important. WITSA is the World Information Technology and Services Alliance. That alliance is made up of leading ICT associations, such as PIKOM in Malaysia. And we have 85, actually 86 now, country members. And those countries represent about 90% of the ICT industry. And I think what you'll find is the reason that WITSA is unique, not only does it represent an industry that's cutting across all other industries and changing the world, we find ourselves in a leadership position to ensure that no one gets left behind in this age. So we changed many years ago. We kind of woke up to the fact that we're not simply an NGO representing the industry. We're representing a movement that has the potential of making the world a lot better for a lot of people, including everyone on Earth. So if you look at the situation today, we have less, I think the numbers are getting closer, but we're about half of the world is not connected. So they're not benefiting from the benefits of from ICT as we are. So one of the major reasons for hosting this event is to target the big issues that are enabling or preventing the expansion of ICT. I will say that in the beginning, when we all saw the internet coming, we had this vision of a medium which would be primarily untouched, and it would give access to the libraries of the world, to the poorest child in the Amazon. It would provide a free voice for people. And what we found is over that period of time, we have a lot of different government entrenchment or encroachment on this dream. So we have a lot of work to do in terms of regulating what we need to regulate, but not to kill the goose here in terms of the internet itself. So you have the platform to host the 26th World Congress on IT. And we will together bring together a world-class faculty on this program to involve, for example, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, the World Bank, academic institutions, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the WTO, the WTO, the WTO, the World Trade Organization, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, to talk about the pandemic. So in kind of wrapping this up, is that we've got a very, very unique program. We have a very unique goal. We had a very unique audience. And I encourage all of you who are viewing this, and I'd like to thank you very much for taking your time to view this. Please pay attention to this Congress. Please attend this Congress. You will not regret it. In fact, you probably will meet your business partners or and expand your great network out throughout the world. We're going to try to bring around 80 to 90 countries to Penang, one way or the other, and we will put a spotlight on Malaysia, put a spotlight on Penang, and hope for the best, that our work with these congresses moves the ball forward toward including more and more people and benefiting from ICT. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you this morning.
Thanks, Jim. In fact, I have a question for you after this related to this, but before that, let me ask Sean to also come in and join the conversation and share a little bit.
Good morning, everyone. Again, thank you for tuning in so early in the morning. Okay, we're delighted to have these sessions. Thank you to MDEC as well. for having us this morning. A lot of things happened, okay, during the last 18 months pandemic. Again, for us, PIKOM, we are still very focused delivering WCIT 2022 to bring Malaysia to the world radar. Okay, thanks to both my CEO, Mr. Ong and Dr. Jim, okay, for bringing the good introduction, Mr. Cheah, of what we do in WITSA and PIKOM. I'm currently the Deputy Chairman of both WITSA and PIKOM. It is our biggest agenda for the next 18 months, okay, to bring this world stage, okay, to Malaysia. Okay, the team is connecting Malaysia to the world, and we believe this is going to be a big blast, okay, for Malaysia moving into the road of economy recovery. Okay, I think 18 months for us is a long way. Okay, we see a lot of challenges. We work from home, but I believe moving along in the next 12 months, we call it T+13 right now. We are going to have an event next year in September. We hope we can get your attention, okay, put in your calendar, and we will share with you a bit more what this event is all about. So thank you for tuning in. Okay, back to you, Mr. Ong.
Thank you, Sean. And now over to you, Dr. Lu. Just a couple of words before we go into the session proper.
Thank you, Mr. Ong, and good morning to all of you. And thank you to MDEC and PIKOM for organizing this session. As Mr. Ong has mentioned, I'm Lian and I represent investPenang, the state principal agency for promotion of investment. I'm the CEO there. When MDEC and PIKOM approached the state about organizing WCIT 2 years back, we were certainly delighted and honored, very excited as well. We're very, very excited to host this and to bring Malaysia, digital Malaysia, to the rest of to ASEAN. investPenang has been selected by the state as the leading agency for organizing this research, and we have been working very closely with PIKOM and MDEC for this. Right, so 18 months to go, and very excited, and we're starting the preparation now for next year, and hopefully by then this pandemic will be behind us and our borders will be open and we can have an exciting on-the-ground event. So back to you, Mr. Ong. Thank you.
Most certainly, the pandemic will be behind us and we can have a great show. Over to the man himself, Mr. Raymond Siva, for a quick introduction.
Hi, so obviously we're very excited to have this topic on. We missed the WCIT last year. We were really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to Penang, bringing us back to the home ground. We wanted to start off early because we want to show the world, right, and all our partners out there that we're ready to come out of this by the end of this year. Fingers crossed, and I'm sure that the government is doing all it can to revive the economy. So I'm really happy to be here on this panel and to assure all our viewers out there that we want to make this happen. We will make this happen together with our colleagues in Penang and also in PIKOM, and also with James' support from where he is. Yeah, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Raymond. And now let me pose a couple of questions. I'll direct them to specific individuals, but we also welcome the audience. In case you have any questions, do post them into the chat box. I'll be happy to try and attempt to answer some of these questions. But we start off with Cheah. In fact, I also like to look back at some of the history. You were involved in PIKOM for many years, and when we last hosted the event in 2008, I'm sure you remember that. Maybe tell me a little bit about your experience then. What made WCIT the event, the Olympics of the tech industry at that time? Over to you, Mr. Cheah.
Thank you, Can you? First and foremost, I'm not the best guy who described the 2008. The best guy to describe is a former MDEC colleague, Dato then the organizing chair, and then the PIKOM chairman, David Wong. And I'm very, very fortunate that, as can you say, I involved in PIKOM about 20 years ago. As that time is very, very young. 2008 is about my 5th year involvement in PIKOM only. Yeah, and it's amazing if I can remember. Bill Gates physically cannot happen in town, and what Microsoft did, they transmitted Bill Gates virtual or hologram, right? Can you remember? And do a great showcase and stunning show in a KL Convention Center in 2008. And anyone of us think about that, oh, that hologram maybe is not real, or it's just like a toys. But look at today, the world has changed. And this virtual talk and this virtual session is becoming part of the norm, or you call it a hybrid digital workforce and so on. It's become reality. What I'm trying to say, if you refresh my memory back to 2008, maybe a toys. But again, WCIT is an event, not only the Olympics of the ICT, and it is also, like Jim said, it is a platform to showcase, it's a platform to demonstrate the technology. Not about advancement, it's about the transcending, it's a trend sector. So this is one of it. The second thing, I can recall my memory right. And we are always would like to have a harmonious competition with other countries. Jim, you still remember? Or Taiwan hosted the most successful, or this or that, right? And then surprisingly, 2008, and we make the record. We broke the records, not only in terms of the attendees, in terms of the sponsorship that we got. And the third point is amazing. Raymond, I'm not exerting pressure to you and anyone or the government side, and I can see an immense private NGO public partnership, and it was demonstrated flawlessly, seamlessly. The VIP check in the airport, immediate to the crane lane, and then I tell you, that kind of country tourism, or country as a whole country nation, we demonstrated about our typical or uniqueness of Malaysia hospitality. And this is really 1, 2, 3 is really give me a fond memory. And that also lead to why we are in this now. Okay. I'll get you back to you, or else I can talk another hours.
I also recall 8 billion ringgit worth of investment coming in as a direct result of WCIT. So that's amazing. And that's, I think, one of the things that we are looking at to make a difference in this country.
Yeah.
Okay. As a follow-up question, maybe just quickly, and how did 2020, or now of course 2022, come about? In 2014 in Guadalajara, the bidding process took place. Maybe just a quick sharing of that before I move on.
Thank you, Can you? I still remember, Dr. Jim, if you remember, 2014, I was then the chairman of PIKOM. We are preparing to going all the way. It took us 32 hours flight to Guadalajara, Mexico, the second largest city of Mexico. So we prepare about 50 slide deck. We get help from Dato Dan and David and all. So we are ready to present. Then the chairman is Santiago. Dr. Jim, you still remember? When I stood up, then Chairman Santiago called WITSA chairman then. Mr. Cheah, please come forward, PIKOM, to make your case. Then when I stood up and say, then I look left and right. Then after that, the chairman said, PIKOM, you want to bid for 2020? Okay. You got what you want. Sorry, sir. I have not started my presentation yet. Huh? So why? What's the protocol? Then I said, I look at my Sifu, David Wong, and look at then Chairman Emeritus and Kian was with me. Then I said, how can? I want to present Seah Malaysia to get the right to host for 2020 again. So they said, no need. Okay. Then only after that, I got to know, because of what we have done in 2008 and the credential, the trust. Malaysia as a country, we have earned the trust from WITSA, and no doubt. Of course, the small thing, the second reason is that then 2014, we are still thinking about Wawasan 2020. Wawasan 2020 so is one of the grand plan of Malaysia then. So the country set, the nation set the agenda. By 2020, will be the developed country. So of course, there's a history, and certainly we are looking forward, and together with all our partner, institution partner, ecosystem partner, and colleague, we will make 2022 a great one again. Can you back to you?
Thank you, Cheah. And now, as a follow-on to what Cheah has said, Jim, you've been involved with WITSA since the 90s, and WCIT has been held since 1978. What have you, and also your experience in 1998 as the host of the Virginia event, how have you seen that impacting the tech ecosystem and also the economy in areas of the host? So maybe Jim, you'd like to share a bit.
Okay. Well, as you pointed out, I've been involved since actually 1996 with these events, starting in Spain and moving on. You know, the question is not that easily answered because I have to go from country to country. But I will tell you this, the countries that are most successful, let's put it that way, the countries that are most successful are the ones that work harder than the other ones. In other words, the ones that market better than the other ones, the ones that have a world-class program better than another one. But I think the secret to success for the most successful events, and I think you can go back in 2008 and you can identify these ingredients, is that you consider this a national priority. This is not an event coming to town. This is not a conference. This is a significant impact on the world's economy, not only Malaysia's economy, but if you put the effort in, which I'm sure you will, and you recognize this as what it is, it's a life-changing event that impacts millions of people, and you can only enjoy it. You know, the last time was 2008. Now you're talking about 2022. So you know the chances of you're getting this back in our lifetime is you know very, very limited. You know, so take advantage of this, and I know you will, because I've had experience with your country, and once the event in Bangladesh is over, the minute it's over, you need to crank up the marketing effort, you know, exponentially. And I think one of the advantages that you know, it's unfortunate the pandemic would bring us this advantage of the medium that we're talking on now. But one of the advantages of this technology is that once you are running, that is 1 year out from the 2021 event, where you can officially go out and market, you can use this technology to hook up with the major players in the industry and work with them. Sean and you're experts at this. We need to get these countries involved. You need to identify, from Penang's perspective, are there countries that you would enjoy more, or you're targeting more than others? Let's focus on those. You know, I don't know what they are, but we can put special effort on these countries by putting packages together, identifying the types of investors you're looking for, and we can do this intelligently, again, as a team and as a concerted effort. So I don't know if I answered the question properly, but I do know the most successful ones are the ones that put the total might of the country and their spirit and their cultures behind these events. These are the ones that benefit the most.
Thanks, Jim. In fact, taking total might, I think I would like to pose this to Sean now.
Yeah.
You bring in because you're involved when we brought in our partners, Penang. Maybe tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, thanks, Ong. Since everybody talked about 2008, I will start with that as well. I think MDEC was one of the biggest partner back in 2008. So no doubt when we won the organizing rights for 2020, now 2022, okay, the first partner we wanted to work with is MDEC. Okay, since 2017, okay, we have a conversation until now. Okay, that is 3 years. So technically, we have started conversation planning for this event for a number of years. Okay, and I just want to bring out another point. Okay, not only 2018, 2008, we have organized WCIT. And the last 1.5 years, together with our partner, investPenang, okay, we have started the preparations, okay, for more than 1.5 years. If it's not the pandemic, okay, we would have organized the event last year. Again, the preparation, okay, when we first talked to investPenang, it was mind-boggling because the support that we get from Penang was overwhelming. Okay, with all the levels from the Chief Minister's office to all the agency. So we're delighted. We're most delighted to have both MDEC and investPenang, okay, to be the partner to organize this. In our eyes, okay, it's the largest event, okay, moving into 2022. So these are the two stakeholders. We again, we want to thank you for all your support. Not only financially, okay, again, the moral support and the content, okay, that both this agency that have given us, and the program that we have right now, okay, I would say we are 60%, 70% there, because we've been working on the program and the speakers, okay, since 2018-19. So we have the program in place. We're talking about bringing the whole city of Georgetown, okay, into the technology festival. Okay, for those who have heard our pitch before, we are turning into that entire Georgetown city into a 10-day festival. Okay, bringing all the digital content, whether it's autonomous car, whether it's a conference, whether it's AI, 5G, okay, all this technology. Okay, we're going to have Space Tech next year as well, bringing us technology to showcase to the world what Malaysia has and how do we want to participate and collaborate with all the partners across Asia, ASEAN, and across the world. So we're going to have a big event. We're going to bring you all to the latest version of our new bridge in Penang. Okay, we're going to have an event there as well, and the second Causeway Bridge. In our mind, we're going to host a dinner there. So whether it is possible or not, so it will be a Wild West experience for everyone, never experienced before. So we're excited, okay, and we want to thank the partnership that we have. Thanks to MDEC and thanks to investPenang.
Thanks, Sean. Kind of like gave a little bit away in terms of what to expect at the event. But okay, now over to Raymond. In fact, I was looking at it and we were thinking, so what's the motivation for MDEC as well as the Malaysian government in bringing a world-class and international event such as WCIT into Kuala Lumpur, so into Malaysia and into Penang? In fact, I always hear the heart of digital ASEAN as the mantra. So what's the motivation of bringing it to Malaysia and to Penang?
We been long recognized for our location, our connectivity, not only within the ASEAN countries, but also in Malaysia, our internet connectivity. We're known for our multilingual and diverse workforce. Very, very stable sort of situation. So all of this is always something that we want to push out there, and I believe that according to James as well earlier on, I think the marketing and the storytelling needs to be very important. The motivation is really quite clear, right? We need to build on the relative progress that we've done over the years, and especially now over the last 5 years, digitalization has really changed the way we do business, right? Accelerated, especially over the last 12 months, right? So we believe that, and I wouldn't call it an event, like James said earlier, it's not just an event or a conference, but really it's a catalyst. It's a further catalyst to bring digital across Malaysia, right? So we call it the democratization of the digital economy. And so obviously the WCIT is another cog and another important piece that we bring into the digital economy, because it will catalyze many, many other things, right? Not only investments in Penang, but also throughout Malaysia, right? 8 billion is nothing to sneeze at the last time, right? So it's really looking and seeing that now we have more than a 1-year track to bring this in. How can we leverage this for our digital economy and really look at investors, address their concerns, bring them into Malaysia so they can touch, feel, see, talk to our ecosystem and understand how wonderful a place for investment this could be, right? And really then to position Malaysia as the heart of digital ASEAN. So again, that's our motivation, right?
Okay, thank you, Raymond. And now to Dato Lu. 2008 in Kuala Lumpur, 2022 in Penang. I mean, Penang is known for food, culture, maybe high-tech manufacturing. What is the synergy in terms of what you see in terms of bringing the event to Penang, and what can be, especially for international audience who may not be so familiar with it? So maybe you'd like to share a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a chance for me to advertise for Penang. So Penang is not only known for its food and its culture. I think you should know that we are known as the Silicon Valley of the East. So for our robust E&E and also our semiconductor industry. We have over 300 multinationals, numerous global Fortune 500 companies, and over 3,000 diversified local suppliers. So very robust ecosystem. We have a 50 years of accumulated industrial experience, all of them encompassing innovation, excellence in areas of, like somebody has mentioned just now, autonomous vehicle, robotics, medical technology, advanced manufacturing, AI, 5G. All this transformation has been happening in our industrial sector for the last 50 years. So the heart of digitalization is the semiconductor chip. And Penang actually exports over 5% of the global semiconductor chip to the rest of the country, to the rest of the world. And this, with the pandemic, I think the digitalization, as we all know, moving forward is a new norm. So we've been tremendous growth and tremendous opportunity of expansion for us in our industrial sector. And to me, and also the convergence of IT and digitalization with the hardware and the semiconductor industry. I think we're looking into that convergence as well. To me, I think we provide an excellent backdrop for hosting such a prestigious event for IT. So it's a great backdrop we can provide as an experience for delegates that come over here. And then, as some of you may or may not know, Penang is also known for its food. It's a paradise for food, and we have heritage and culture. And Sean mentioned that, but he forgot to also mention we are actually a living heritage and a UNESCO heritage site. So bringing all this together, technology and mind-boggling new innovation in a city or in a city of culture and heritage and great food. I think we provide an excellent narrative and an excellent host for the event in next year. So yes, we are very excited to showcase this to the rest of the world.
Thank you, Dato. In fact, we cannot wait to experience what you have in store for us in Penang. As Raymond also mentioned, it provides a catalytic multiplier for the whole value chain of the tech industry. You talk about the semiconductor, and this spans off thousands of other companies that supply technology, software, hardware into the industry. So we wanted to be there last year in 2020, but of course the pandemic shifted our plans a little bit. So Sean, what do you think? And besides the pandemic, what type of decision in terms of that prompted us to quickly move to 2022?
Thanks, Mr. Ong. Actually, we only made a decision last year in March. Okay, as I was returned from Las Vegas, the CES event in January. Okay, thinking that everything should go smoothly. We have a few months down the road to organize the WCIT in Penang. Somewhere along the March lockdown, the MCO lockdown in Malaysia. So we are at a crisis mode at that point in time. So we have many meetings, okay, whether we should move the date, we should move to the year end, because the original date was in September. So we are internally, we have meetings with Penang, Dato and a few chief minister there as well. So the conclusion is, I think we don't want to take the risk. So we decided to move the events out from 2020 So after a few rounds of deliberation with WITSA, so we have secured the date for the 2022. So that's how we act fast enough, and we have the, I should not say we have the foresight, but I think we never expect the pandemic actually will last that long. Nobody expect that long. Okay, so but at the same time, we have successfully organized an event last year. It's a hybrid event called Road to WCIT, okay, which is a Tech Fest 2020. So that would sort of give us a head start in terms of get a feel how do we organize a hybrid event, whether it's physical event is available to us next year, but we are ready, okay, to have a platform to do hybrid physical plus online event. So it's in a sense that we we took a right approach, okay, with all the advice from all the stakeholders, okay. We took a right approach and moved the event in 2022 because initially we wanted to do in 2021 Q1, but even that we thought it's going to be too risky for us. So I think a lot of things. I think the team come together, okay, and I think we picked the right choice. Hopefully, it is still the right choice to come to 2022 when the vaccinations of the nation and the region has reached certain immunities. I think we welcome you back to Malaysia. Now it's for physical, real experience.
Thank you, Sean. I was told I have about another 10 minutes. I've got a couple of questions, but since you're talking about 2022, the OC or the organizing chair, I'm going to bring him back and ask him a question. Cheah, so now that you have, you know, it's 2022, what are some of the highlights you think the visitors can experience for the event or for the experience in the island of Penang? Dr. Lu has covered a little bit, Sean has covered a bit, but what do you see is going to happen?
Thank you, Kenyu. I think thank you, Dr. Sean, Dato Lu, and Raymond Jim, setting a nice stage for me. I feel pleasure, however, rather pressure as an organizing chair. Okay, so as correctly mentioned by Dato Lu, it's about tech, the integration of tech, the heritage, the food, the Malaysia hospitality, and it's always Malaysia dream that as a digital hub for ASEAN. And Malaysia had done it. Of course, we have some challenges. I mean, the whole world are experiencing the challenges. However, by knowing the economic or pandemic circle or cycle, so it will be up, it will be down. Yeah. So we believe as when Dr. Sean and the former previous the organizing chair, Mr. Seah approached me at the time, hey, brother, can you consider to take over the organizing chair for 2022? I said, huh? Well, I said, that one, I already, the past chairman already, I don't need all this. Then I said, hey, let's consider to do a great job again for PIKOM and for this WCIT. It doesn't mean that previously is not great, and it is about now. And we always believe it is the worst of time, it is also the best of time. The opportunity are given to the people that with right aptitude and attitude. So we weren't able to tell you 100% now, as Dr. Sean mentioned, and also Dr. Jim rightfully reminded. Let's wait for this year, the WCIT 2021, what happened in Bangladesh. And right after, of course, we are not waiting for it, Dr. Jim. We are in our preparation mode already started. And we will do what is right to market Malaysia as a hub of digital ASEAN, and certainly connecting Malaysia to the world, to the country. And Penang is already a pearl of the East, not only the Silicon Valley of the East, Dato Lu. And there's a lot of things to shout off. And as what the world, the behavioral world will happen. once the vaccination, once the world becoming more stabilized, and what you guess, a kind of reshape, reboost, resounding, or all this recovery will be happening. And the date, tentatively, we set the date is sometime the Q3 of the next year. And perhaps by then, most of the country is already back to in order. And they'll be looking for something, continuously looking for something about a platform for them to source for the right solution and the right place to promote their solution. And you can think about the integration points, and we will be ready as what we have proven historically. Of course, we must continue to do better and work harder, as rightfully said by Dr. Jim, and surely we will work very, very hard. And we cannot let this WCIT 2022, especially for myself, and the whole team PIKOM is behind me. I think the country also behind this event, and we cannot talk about this WCIT is an event or conference. It's a national agenda. Yeah, I think I also learned a lot of things. We will take note, and we will get ourselves even more prepared and ready to do a good show to the world.
Thank
you, Daniel.
Readiness. Thank you, Cheah. Talking about readiness, Dato Lu, is Penang ready? We talk about the soft infrastructure, the experience, but how about the hard infrastructure, the hotels, the amenities, the transportation, the attractions? What are some of the things that you think we can look forward to?
In terms of infrastructure, Penang has already achieved 99.68% 4G penetration as of Q1 of 2021. We expect that the federal government will roll out 5G network in Penang by next year. So in terms of infrastructure, we are ready to provide the best experience for delegates participating in next year's WCIT. Hotels, transportation, no problem. We have direct flights to 22 major and regional airports. And if you connect to KL, which is a 50-minute flight to Penang, you can connect to over 100 destinations. Hotels, we offer a full range of hotels that suit every kind of budget, from luxury to boutique to heritage hotels to business hotels to service apartments and beachfront hotels. Not many people can offer you the beach, the historical site and the heritage site and UNESCO heritage site combined with technology. I think we have very exciting programs to offer to your delegates next year. And I want to thank all of you for your support. And I feel very comfortable and very encouraged to hear that I'm getting support from so many factors, because to us, it's also not only exciting, like what Mr. Cheah said, a lot of pressure on our side as well to make sure that we provide very good hosts to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato. In fact, we can't wait because many of us have been stuck at home. We need a beach holiday. We need to attend an international conference that creates experience. Now over to you, Raymond. In the last 5 minutes, I got one more question for Raymond and one for Jim. So Raymond, bringing on the catalytic effect of such an event, and it's not just an event, it's an experience, and getting the entire ecosystem on board. How do you see this impacting the Malaysia tech industry and creating Malaysia as ASEAN?
So I think the last 1 year, we pivoted, the industry as a whole has pivoted. We've used all the digital tools available to stay connected with the world. But there's nothing also like the human touch to be sitting down and talking and sharing experiences and exploring what can be done. And that can happen with a meeting of minds. And so I look forward to that, right? Where we actually invite all these industry titans from around the world to come and join us here, as well as to showcase the strengths that we have and what we've done over the last 1 year. I mean, you look at it, look at Carson, right? Our second unicorn. The first unicorn, of course, has gone to Singapore. For not because of us, right? It's because of the funding. But the second unicorn, Carson, is here, and there's third, fourth, fifth in the pipelines. That is also now relevant to our ICT and MSc companies, and they are in Penang, they're in Johor, they're in Sabah, they're in Sarawak, as well as in Cyberjaya and KL. So we need the connections to happen. So more and above, I think the digital platforms where we've done, like this, for example, I think the connections that we get, especially when different people come in and we're able to talk and exchange ideas, will really then be able to showcase the strengths that we have and look at Angkasa X, for example, right? That's really something that's begging for investments. I wouldn't say begging in the sense that, it's begging, but people are going to look at it and say, my God, what can I do? Not just in Angkasa X, but the ecosystem that is being developed because of that connectivity, satellite connectivity that we have, right? So I think it's things like this that I'm really, really looking forward to. And we have a year plus to drum up all the gems, the diamonds that we have from Penang to Sabah. I would say Perlis to Sabah, and how do we drum that up as we lead on to the WCIT?
Thank you, Raymond. So we've got to polish those gems to make sure they are really the pearls whenever we are showcasing them.
Yes, pearls.
Okay, and now on to Jim, and this is my final question before we go to the conclusion. As someone with the experience over the years, some words are advised to local hosts, to PIKOM, to MDEC, to investPenang. What are some of the key success factors you have seen that will make Malaysia a game changer for the world?
I think what we need to do is to step back and take a look at the past and ask ourselves a couple of questions. How many more operating systems do we need? How many more Facebooks do we need? How many more Zooms do we need? My point is this, is that what we've witnessed in the past 20, 25 years is a skyrocketing of these anchors of technology that have created something called the ICT industry. In my humble opinion, I believe that you're going to make your mark by focusing on technology coming right around local. Okay, in other words, if you ask a group of young engineers, systems engineers, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? They might say they want to be Zuckerberg, they might want to be Bill Gates, they might want to be Elon Musk. Okay, how many of those people in reality can you be? My point is this: the next phase of this evolution or this revolution is going to go right around to local. Local meaning, what are the local requirements of the community that can use ICT that can scale up? Instead of thinking about taking a innovation and making it scalable globally to begin with, stop that and start thinking about how do you make a local application successful and then go globally. Okay, another example. There's tens of millions of people that are in this so-called disability category. What is technology doing for them to make their lives better? Many of us are going to be in that category as we get older, for example. So we're going to require certain requirements of technology. So what I'm saying is, as we look at shaping the program, take a look at real needs. How do you save the life of a child or a mother who has to go from a village with a pregnancy problem? She may die on the way to get to the hospital. How can we bridge that gap between giving that village a nurse that can communicate with the best doctors in the world, take a drone, send the drone, send the medicine into the village? How do we help the farmer who is planting a crop that may not be the best for his village? So how do we do that? Let's go back to the very beginning and use technology for the good of everyone. And I think that is where you would be different. because everyone else is still on this road to the big app, the killer app, you know, the next big invention. And I'm saying that technology is evolving, and what it has to do now is it has to come around and meet the other part of the world that it's not been included in the past. I think this is what the World Congress should be all about, and not to dismiss the technology and let's bring that in. But how do you make that technology more meaningful for more people?
Yes.
I think that's the difference in the World Congress and any other event. We're not showing off the new technology just for the technology show off, you know, point. That's not the point. How do you take that same technology and make life a better place for everybody?
Yes, certainly, Jim. In fact, we need to have these difficult conversations around these topics, how to make technology more accessible. Similarly, I think MDEC has a program, the Agro-Tech program. So we're going to see how we can benefit the farmers. So these are conversations I think we plan to have for the WCIT. But I was told I've pretty much run out of time. I would like to have a few more questions. I would like to say thank you very much. Can we give a big hand to all our 5 panelists? Thank you for joining us today for this session. Remember the date. Ms. Cheah mentioned third quarter, end of third quarter in 2022. Tentatively, we have marked 13th to the 15th of September 2022. So remember that date, and you'll be hearing from us very soon. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to the panelists. Over to you, in Cheah's room.
Thank you, guys. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ong. Thank you to all the engaging panelists for this session to kickstart our morning. I can't wait for WCIT 2022. It's huge. It's the Olympics of technology. Last time, 2008. We've been waiting 14 years. So see you in Penang, and I hope to be there too. So call me for hosting duties. WCIT 2022, not just an event, an international experience. Thank you, everybody. We will now be moving forward to our next session of the day. It will begin very shortly. So do click join session to all the attendees and do complete the survey for each of the sessions as we strive to continuously serve you better. See you soon.